Hi everyone, in this short demo we're going to see how we can find network parameters on Linux. We have here a command line open. This is easiest because you have the commands here and they always work. So for starters, we're going to look for the network interface configuration and local configuration. We're going to use the command ifconfig. If we use ifconfig, we're going to get a bunch of interfaces. We need to locate the interface we're interested in. In this case, it's going to be this interface. It's a wireless interface, which I'm now using on my laptop. So we have here the IP address 192.168.1.133. This is the IP address I'm using. Network mask is 255.255.255.0. And this is the initial configuration. If I want to check the default gateway, I'm going to use the command route minus route minus n, if you will. And this is going to show me the default gateway here. That's why I need to use minus n, because if not, it's just going to show me a string. The gateway is 192.168.1.1, right? So if you see here 0.0.0, this is the default gateway. This is where my packets are going to go to enter the internet. If I'm going to do connectivity, I'm going to use ping, so ping google.com. This is going to start sending packets to the google.com host. Everything is working, as you can see. I use Ctrl+C to close the command. So there is no packet loss, everything worked okay. I can also use an IP address as argument to ping, just to check everything working properly. So now I'm sure my internet is working okay. For the name server configuration, if I want to see what that is, I have there's a file that's called etcresolve.conf in Linux. It has a lot of content, and here I'm going to see what is this name server that I use locally. To determine the mapping to find out the IP address for a given name, I can use the command host. So for example, if I use host google.com, I get the IP address of google.com. I can do it similarly for digital4security.eu. Right, so I get the IP address here. I should have also NSLOOKUP. With NSLOOKUP, apart from getting the mapping, you also have a confirmation of the name server that you're using. It's the same one here, 127.0.0.53. This is the name, my local name server. If I want to check the local connection and services, I'm going to use netstat. So if I'm going to use netstat, I'm going to look for, let's say, TCP connections. I'm going to list them as in numeric form, just to only show the ports. So I have a lot of connections now on my system. This is how many connections are currently running. If I want to look for the services that my system is currently running and they are listening for remote connections, I'm going to use the L argument for listen, and you can see here all are listening, and I have those services available here. If I were to remove minus n, I would get the protocol name, SMTP, IMAP, MySQL that are attached to these respective services. So in summary, what we've done is we used ifconfig to determine the network configuration. It was for this interface. We used route minus n to determine the default gateway. The name server is configured in resolve.conf, but it can also be if I use nslookup google.com. Apart from showing me the mapping between google.com and an IP address, it's also going to show me the IP address of the name server, of the DNS server. I use ping for connectivity checking to make sure that I have a proper internet connection, and then I use netstat to show, in this case, listening services, or I can show all active connection to the system, and that's it.